The woke Boy Scouts. I almost forgot what to call them because for years they themselves have not cared about gender. They allowed girls in the Boy Scouts. They allowed girls into the tents and bathrooms with the boys, and they allowed boys that identified as girls into girls' spaces. The Boy Scouts of America have been wildly woke, and this is an organization that I think is used to serve a core fundamental, really valuable purpose. I do want to give a shout out to Trail Life, which is an unapologetically Christian alternative to the Boy Scouts of America. I met with them when I was at AmFest, and they have something for girls too. And I still think it's better than Boy Scouts, but the Boy Scouts of America have finally bent under the pressure and have decided that they are not going to eliminate DEI, and that they're going to be, a good organization for young men again. I do want to shout out, it's been a while since I reminded people, my coffee company is now completely available on Amazon, hopefully Walmart soon. We're expanding rapidly, and you can go directly to it by just going to CBC, so Charlie Bravo Charlie, cbcamazon.com will take you directly to our entire product selection available on Amazon. Much of it has free overnight shipping. Almost all of it has free shipping if you pick up enough of it. Our 003 is our Colombian, our 004 is our dark roast, 002 is Ethiopian. Also our blueberry cobbler, strawberries and cream, butter rum, vanilla cookie, gingerbread, all available, whole bean ground and K-cup. Help support the channel and support American-made, American-owned coffee company that employs Americans. We handle our own stuff. It's not your YouTuber dropship garbage to just extract a few dollars off their viewers. We actually are growing the company, and I hope you'll check some out. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth just revealed, after immense pressure, Scouting America, formerly the Boy Scouts, has caved to demands, and they will now go back to separating males and females in showers, tents, and intimate spaces. I want to read that statement again, because if you're like me, you're completely blown away that they didn't do this before. The Boy Scouts will now go back to separating males and females in the shower, tents, and intimate spaces. They're overturning woke DEI policies. Common sense. Scouting America will now modify its policy to make clear that membership will be based solely on biology at birth and not gender identity. Let's look at Pete Hegseth's statement, because this is such a great thing. This is such a great thing for male youth in America, because they need it.
For more than a century, Boy Scouts of America prepared over 130 million American boys to make moral and ethical choices, not just during their formative years, but for a lifetime as they grew into men.
Do you remember when getting to Eagle Scout was like a big deal? It was like an accomplishment that was celebrated. Like families would get together and celebrate that,
The first few words of the Scout Oath exemplify this. Quote, "On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country."
Love it.
The Boy Scouts are embedded in our communities. They're sponsored by community organizations, service clubs, and churches. Many Boy Scouts have gone on to senior leadership positions in their communities, in business, in our nation's military, and as elected representatives in local, state, and national office.
Pete Hegseth,
6 Boy Scouts have been elected President of the United States.
Do you hear that?
11 of the
6 Boy Scouts went on to be President of the United States. Pete Hegseth, definitely, Hegseth and Rubio have been absolute all-stars in Trump's cabinet. Obviously, I love RFK, and I want him to continue doing his work too. But Hegseth has been an absolute machine. And the fact that he's working with the Boy Scouts, because, this is such an important thing for America's young men. Boys need dads, of course, but boys also need, masculine role models. And they don't need their clubs where they have that to be, indoctrination camps.
The 12 men to walk on the moon? Boy Scouts. Boy Scout training focused on
Do you have 11 walk on the
of the
moon?
United States. 11 of the 12 men to walk on the moon, Boy Scouts. Boy Scout training focused on responsible citizenship, character and leadership development, patriotism, personal fitness, self-reliance, faith,
Yes.
and a wide range of outdoor skills. It was a great program, and this department had a close relationship with the Scouts almost since its inception, as many troops meet on military bases. After 2012, however, the Boy Scouts lost their way,
They did.
and a once great organization became gravely wounded.
Much like our military. You know, we got Hegseth out here doing reps of 315 pounds, where previously we had some man that identified as a woman in charge. You know, this kind of stuff. Like, it's just so good and so base to see the Boy Scouts, you know, get back. I would love to see them get back to their faith-based roots too, but you know, one thing at a time.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, crept in. The name was changed to Scouting America. Girls were accepted.
This was also, I think, partly because they were desperate for money. I don't really know. Like, I'm not really sure why, or if they got like DEI money and then that's when they changed their policies. I'm not really sure why they did that, but it's time for the soy Scouts to be turned back into the Boy Scouts.
The focus on God as the ruler of the universe was watered down to include openness to humanism and earth-centered pagan religions.
Yep.
Scouting became an organization that no longer supported and celebrated boys. They even welcomed the destructive myth of gender fluidity and transgenderism to infiltrate their membership.
Yep.
Along the way, standards were lowered and merit destroyed in favor of an insidious, radical, woke ideology that is anti-America and anti-American. The result, membership cratered.
Yes, it did.
Americans didn't want this.
The Boy Scouts of America, I believe, filed for bankruptcy as well. I have to go back to double check that, but this is an organization that was in crisis because of its woke policies.
In 1970, 10 million boys participated in Boy Scouts. Currently, less than 1 million.
Wow. So they lost, their membership was down 90% off their peak. 90% off their peak.
Boys and girls participate. Further, many of these community organizations that once supported Scout troops, they withdrew their support. And Scouting America, the parent organization, filed for bankruptcy protection.
Oh, okay, so I was right, yeah.
The changes Scouting America made since 2012 have also jeopardized the relationship with this department. And I was very seriously considering ending our support of Scouting altogether.
They probably should have a long time ago, but, you know, I would rather save it because young men need the Boy Scouts, at least what it used to be.
We have a department to protect, after all. Beyond that, the policies Scouting America have in place violate President Trump's Executive Order 14173, entitled Ending Illegal Discrimination and Restoring Merit-Based Opportunity. But before making this big change, I decided to meet with the current Scouting leadership to convey our deep concerns. Based on that face-to-face conversation and subsequent conversations, Scouting America agreed to make several key reforms.
Here we go.
And let me briefly highlight a few of them. First, Scouting America has agreed to comply.
By the way, the girls' organization is called American Heritage Girls. And then for the boys is Trail Life. And I do think that they are still better. And like, if I had to choose which one I would support financially, it would be one of those two organizations. I told them when I met with them, I'd be happy to have them on the show. And I meant that. And I hope I can do that in 2026 because I still think, you know, the Christ-centered, they still do all the same thing the Boy Scouts do, but they just have a little bit more basis in Christ.
Immediately with the provisions of Executive Order 14173. This includes reviewing and replacing politicized, divisive, and discriminatory language throughout the organization, programs, and all publications. No more DEI, zero. Second, the, quote, Citizen in Society Merit Badge that encourage Scouts to explore diversity, equity, inclusion, and identity. They always mask it under a name that sounds great, but it's doing something else. And then asks those Scouts to engage in activism on those topics. That badge has been discontinued. Third, Scouting America will modify its policy to make clear that membership will be based solely on biological sex at birth and not gender identity.
Whoa.
That means that the application, any application, will have only 2 sex designations, male and female, and the application must match the applicant's birth certificate.
Isn't it so crazy that something like so normal, something so obvious, you know, is now like radical?
Scouting will also make clear that biological boys and girls will not be allowed to occupy or share intimate spaces together. Toilets, showers, tents, anywhere like that. Fourth,
again, common sense. Common sense.
Scouting America will honor those who serve by waiving the registration fees for children of active duty, guard, and reserve families.
Love it.
Should have happened a long time ago. Fifth, in partnership with the War Department, Scouting America will introduce a new military service merit badge. These and other changes that Scouting America's leadership committed.
This is also about helping the pipeline for the U.S. military, which has been completely depleted by garbage policies over the past 8 years. So this is also about helping recruitment. Absolutely. I know I'll let you watch the rest of Pete, but this is a massive win for common sense. Absolutely love to see it. Shout out Pete Hegseth. Keep bringing the W's. And remember to get your coffee at cbcamazon.com. It'll take you right to our Amazon store. Pick some up today. Give it a try. I know you'll love it.